Welcome back. On the first day of 2022, our state's minimum wage increased. The new minimum wage rate is $9.87. That's an increase of 22 cents from last year. But is it enough? This week, the Capitol Rundown sat down with one of the representatives who sponsored the bill. Take a listen.
Obviously, we saw an increase in the minimum wage this year as part of what is a standing statute that will go up every year. But we have seen, because of economic disparities that have happened over the last several decades, and obviously with the pandemic and now the economic instability, it's not enough. So we introduced legislation to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and then follow the consumer price index within the Midwest to make sure that people are getting paid a wage that will at least afford them the opportunity to live with a little bit of dignity. I believe that the minimum wage right now is $9 and some change, and that's not enough. We are seeing that even companies are now beginning to advertise, hey, come work here, we'll give you $14, we'll give you $12. I think 15 should be the floor. And it's precisely because folks need the opportunity to be able to go to work and know that when they come home and they work one job, that they should be able to afford things like food on the table, to be able to make sure that they have the ability to get transportation to and from work, and the basic necessities for their children and their families. And we are going to continue to advocate. I think we're getting to the point where $15 as a minimum wage is no longer going to be enough, right? And we still haven't even gotten there. So I think I welcome the conversation to continue to fight for economic justice, to close the gap in income inequality and wealth disparity in this country, and make sure that Michigan, the state that built the middle class, continues to afford people that opportunity the same way it did for people like my father. We have legislation right now sitting to increase the minimum wage. And we still have not had any movement on it, and it's unacceptable. I think Michigan's working families deserve to know that the state will finally meet the moment and increase the wage to $15 an hour, so that people can go to work knowing that they'll be able to have some semblance of dignity. And I'll just say this: when folks were getting the pandemic unemployment assistance, the $642, I believe it was, if you average that out, it's about $15.40 an hour, which means that if folks were able to get assistance and get that money so that they could then provide for their families and make sure that they had all their needs met, then we should be able to make sure that the working people have that same opportunity as well.
Coming up next on the Capitol Rundown, we'll hear what the Biden administration is doing to combat the COVID surge. We'll have details on that next.